On this edition of Touring the Cocktail Motac Los Angeles, we're here at Louie's of Mar Vista.
Spring into summer, Crescent City Cocktails as we explore the not-so-sticky sweet side of the Big Easy's favorite cocktails. Join us.
I don't think there's anybody with as much, or anywhere with as much cocktail heritage as New Orleans has. I mean, it's the heart and soul of the cocktail.
I look at Southern cocktails and really what they're about. They're a piece of your lifehood, I would say, your livelihood.
So I'm very excited to hear from Brent about her cocktails tonight.
Well, Brent Falco is a member of the Los Angeles Spirits community. She's a native Southerner.
Hi, my name is Brent Falco. I am born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. One of my favorite memories is of my mom. So she would take the mint, full stock, and press it into the bourbon. And then she would strain it in the morning and then pour about 2 ounces of each of these into silver mint julep cups, which would sit in our freezer. And she would do powdered sugar on the mint. That would be extra mint that we would pick, put aside, and that would sit in with the crushed ice, and it would always be served with a napkin, and then we would serve it to the guest.
So we set up a program that highlights a number of 4 classic drinks that are closely associated with the Crescent City, which is New Orleans, and one that's kind of an 18th century surprise to us, a port punch.
They're going to be serving a port punch. This excites me to no end.
I've been a bartender in Los Angeles for over 10 years. Grew up in the scene with craft bartending.
I just couldn't get enough of the St. Charles punch. That was amazing. Never had anything so delicious, tart yet well balanced, sweet, colorful, and boozy.
Louie's of Mar Vista opened, I think, as a butchery. It's been more or less in the same family since then. It's now 2014.
My name is John Michael Atkinson. I'm the owner of Louie's of Mar Vista, a bar and restaurant in Mar Vista, California.
And we said, we have to do an event together, and so here we are.
I met Philip and Motac through Richard Foss. Richard has written numerous years. He's written about many restaurants, so I've been following him, and he eventually did one on my restaurant in Manhattan Beach. In 1954, my grandfather built this building and opened Louie's Butcher Shop, which closed in 1969. 5 years ago, my family and I started rebuilding it as Louie's, more of a bar and grill. Atmosphere is kind of a New Orleans flair in the front of the house. Meets psychotic butcher shop with a big mural of an animal apocalypse of sorts. Our menu, we often call it ASAP, or as Southern as possible. My wife is from New Orleans, my first chef is from New Orleans. I did my apprenticeship years ago in Charleston, South Carolina. So there's a big American South flair running through our food.
They're bringing out the snacks right now, and one of the things they're serving tonight is homemade pimento cheese in a bowl. And I love pimento cheese. You can't beat pimento cheese, especially with a cocktail. Let's go take a peek.
So tonight we'll be serving Creole pimento cheese, potted shrimp Louisiane, a Cajun head cheese, very unique to this region, and boudin sausage with a Ferdy Special po' boy.
I always call myself a seasonal bartender. Even my bar staff, when I ran a bar downtown, they always talked about, they're like, Brent loves making the mint julep, and would send people to me. So it definitely is the mint julep. That and the old fashioned are my 2 favorite drinks to make. Yeah, old fashioned for winter, and mint julep, if I had a range through my whole lifetime, that would be it.
My favorite cocktail is the Vieux Carré, and that was invented at the Hotel Monteleone about 1930. It means the old square in French, and that refers to the French Quarter. And that is a cognac, a couple of kinds of bitters, cherry and some orange, and it is the grown-up brother or cousin of the Sazerac.
Maybe we should find out if anyone here has actually been to New Orleans, and if they have, what did they drink?
New Orleans cocktails, I have to tell you, I grew up on the bright red Pat O'Brien's Hurricane.
I remember my first trip to Bourbon Street. I remember those giant 3-foot-tall, huge-ass daiquiris that they sell.
And I had more joyful nights accompanied by one of those than perhaps one should.
You gotta be so drunk that you spill it onto Bourbon Street, and then even more drunk that you scoop it back into the cup.
And I'll tell you what, Louie's is something of the Saints bar. So on opening day, when the Saints play, 2014, I'm gonna make gallons of St. Charles Punch and dish it out to all my favorite customers.
I now have the gift and love of being able to train young bartenders, which is one of my favorite things to do. And finally now doing seminars, being able to give back to the public, which I haven't done before.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Touring the Cocktail, Motac Los Angeles. We'll see you next time, maybe at brunch.